Hello. So, uh, yeah. So we're playing Mycorrhiza pizza. I don't know, but I found it from Twitter. Looks really good. Like, I love Junji Ito. I love Junji Ito. And this one was inspired by artists like Junji Ito, so I'm really excited for it. Ow! I just got poked by needles. Needles. Alright, so should I let more people join in or nah? You know what? Nah, man. I'm just gonna go right in. And to play, you have to click on the door. Oh my god, isn't that cool? Instead of actually going to like play here, you have to click on the door. Yeah. Ugh. Oh my god. Welcome to our wall of distorted minds. My eyes were burning. It felt like hot coals were flying on my eyelids. I slowly opened them and attempted to heave myself up from the cold asphalt. But I failed. My whole body was heavy, and my head felt like it was being squashed by a hydraulic press. After a few attempts, I finally succeeded and tried to make out where I was. The fog in my mind lifted slowly, and I realized that I was in a dark alleyway. My vision was still blurry, and I had trouble keeping my eyes open. But I could tell that I had never seen this place before. Slowly, my heart began to race. Was I abducted? Was I abducted? Mugged? What had happened to me? I hastily checked my body, unfortunately finding no wounds. Why was I feeling so sweet then? Maybe I was drugged? As I tried to recall what might have happened to me, my eyes finally focused. I could see a house in front of me. It was the only house on the street with its lights on. The dirty yellow glow shone through almost every single visible window. I felt some relief knowing that the tenants were awake. Perhaps they could tell me where I was. I approached the front door. It took me some searching to find the doorbell through the overgrown ivy. A deep gong rang out from within the house when I pressed it. The sound, amplified by cold wind cutting through my shirt, made me tense up. What an odd choice for a doorbell, I thought, while rubbing my upper arms to warm myself. I waited. No one answered. My mind twisted in confusion. Why was no one coming? I rang the doorbell again. Then I tried knocking. No response. No one was coming. I didn't understand. Did they forget to turn off the lights and go on a vacation? As a last resort, I tried turning the doorknob and it actually opened. This worried me. Did something happen to the family living here? Perhaps I should find a phone and call the police. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the street. My heart started to pound as my body tensed up. I wanted to dash in the house, but my feet refused to move. What was that sound? Was someone out there? Pictures of otherworldly monsters and armed kidnappers popped into my mind as my eyes scanned the darkness. The world was silent once more. I was still on edge. Oh no, I didn't mean to. I decided I didn't want to find out what that was. Cautiously, I stepped through the threshold and firmly closed the door behind me. I entered a dimly lit hallway. The contours of minimalist furniture was illuminated by the streetlights outside. I felt an immediate lurch of guilt as I was trespassing into a stranger's home. Hello? Is anyone here? So I'm called Scott. No answer. The house was eerily quiet. I cautiously ventured further down the front hall and stopped in front of one of the doors. A dim yellow light seeped silently through the bottom crack. I turned the knob, locked, and the next one, also locked. They all seemed to be. I frowned. Why were the lights behind these doors lit? It gave me an uneasy feeling. The door at the very end of the hall was the only one that I hadn't tried yet. I grasped the handle and turned it slowly. And it swung open to complete darkness. Once again, my body tensed up while my mind started to conjure horrific images. A beast with dislocated limbs and crooked teeth creeping towards me from the darkness. A floor littered with corpses and walls stained with blood. A giant spider sitting in the corner waiting for its chance to strike. My hands shook as I reached to flick the light. It was an utterly ordinary bedroom. That scared you, didn't it? It scared you all, but it didn't scare me. Okay, maybe it did scare me a bit, but I knew it was all his imagination. So, like, it didn't count. Okay? Didn't count. My heartbeat slowly calmed down as I realized that I seemed to be safe. I felt almost silly getting scared of nothing. A quick search yielded nothing but bare and dusty shelves. The bed was the only meaningful object present. Slowly but surely, a wave of fatigue washed over me. With my adrenaline rush fading away, I found that I was more exhausted than I realized. Like a worm wriggling its way into an apple. A single thought slowly invaded my mind. I had to sleep. Trying to figure it made it worse, as if some outside power was affecting me. Trying to fight it made it worse, as if some outside power was affecting me. Sleeping in a stranger's bed in a stranger's home was the last thing I wanted to do right now. But it was soon the only thing I could think about as my conscience faded. I had to sleep. The world turned dark, and the soft covers of the bed pulled me deeper and deeper into the black abyss. Ooh, nice transition. And oh, There are loads, but there are no saves. Which door should I go for? Let me think. Middle one, I guess. Whoa. A guide to funny faces. I shot awake, panting heavily, my clothes sticking to my skin due to all the sweat. My eyes darted around the room, but everything was quiet. I seemed to be safe. A nightmare. Seems like I just had a nightmare. Seems, huh? I don't think you're seeming to have a nightmare, my dude. I think you seriously woke up at some weird street and ended up in a normal but weird house and slept in that person's bed. I don't know about you, but I think this whole situation is just a nightmare on its own. I can't remember it anymore, but it must have been horrifying. Chills were still running down my spine. After calming down, I decided to take another look around the house. The fact that no one was here, even though the lights were on, was still nagging at the back of my mind. I looked out the window, confirmed that it was still night. I had either slept for a whole day or only for a few hours. Considering how tired I felt, it must have been the latter. Nah man, I have slept for days after days, and when I wake up, I'm so tired. You don't know what it's like to sleep for days, like a whole day. I left the bedroom to retry the doors just in case. They were still locked. I really wanted to go home and take a shower. I smelled my clothes and they indeed had started to smell slightly sour. This place seemed to have nothing left to offer. I'd better be off on the streets, even if it was still dark. All I needed to do was find a police station. They'd definitely be able to help me. As I wandered around, I grew more and more aware of how big this town was. The buildings were tall, and the nature was rather scarce. The streets, however, were completely empty. Suddenly, my ears began to pick up the subtle sounds of laughter. The sounds turned to unease in my empty stomach. Sorry, the sounds actually kind of funny to me. Okay, it's creepy, but like my reaction to getting creeped out is actually to laugh. It was awfully late for such a public crowd. There wasn't cheering or rounds of applause, just laughter. Loud and obnoxious laughter that didn't seem to subside or grow. It became louder as I approached the town center. Soon it turned into a wave of commotion by what sounded to be a massive crowd. They laughed and kept laughing. It sounded dreadful. I was tempted to change course and avoid them. Yet this direction was my best bet for finding an inn or a police station. These priorities outweighed my sense of danger. I pressed on. The laughter was bellowing with hundreds of voices until I finally could glimpse the source of the commotion. The crowd gathered around a performer who was doing something to make them laugh. I strained to see the action, peeking through the small gaps between the people while keeping a safe distance. The group was just too dense. I couldn't see any details. Curiosity overwhelmed me, and I started pushing through the people. They seemed to melt away without paying me any much attention. As I approached, I passed a table with books. I couldn't make out the title, but I could see something that resembled a mask on the cover. Paying it no mind, I pressed onward. I couldn't understand what was happening. The performer wasn't making any sounds. I couldn't make out any movement from beyond the crowd either. Why was so entertaining? Finally, I reached the front. But what I saw was the opposite of funny. It was horrifying. I'm admiring the art. It's really nice. What was wrong with his head? He turned his head so that everyone in the crowd could have a clear view, as if he didn't want anyone to miss it. So why are people laughing at this? A bystander heard me. I don't know, his face just seems so funny. I mean, look at it. I stared at him in disbelief. He and the others really did seem to find this funny. Were they seeing something I wasn't? No matter how I looked at it, it didn't seem like anything other than disturbing. I averted my gaze and walked away. I wanted nothing to do with his madness. Okay, that music made me read. It made me read the sentences faster, cause it made my heart beat faster. That music, mwah, chef's kiss, perfect. I averted my gaze and walked away. I wanted nothing to do with this madness. I continued to comb through the town center while trying to keep my distance from the crowd. Soon I noticed that the sun had already started to rise. I still hadn't found anything that even vaguely resembled a police station. It's kind of creepy, isn't it? I had walked by a girl that was standing nearby. She was watching the crowd from a distance. Yeah, it is. I was glad to hear someone else was thinking the same. An awkward pause followed. I had been under the impression that she wanted to start up a conversation, but I guess that wasn't the case. My stomach broke the silence. Are you hungry? Blood shot to my face. It was true that I was feeling starved. Swallowing my pride, I nodded. I have a sandwich with me. You can have it. You sure? No worries. I'm not hungry anyways. I had to hold myself back as to not lunge into it. But I kept my cool and ate it cautiously as to not embarrass myself. Some of my strength returned to me. And in the meanwhile, I decided to ask her about this town. Sorry, I don't really know my way around here that well. Oh, so you're not around here? No, not really. Maybe I could help you look. I'm feeling a bit uneasy about being alone here anyways. I glanced back at the direction of the laughing crowd. Sure, I would really appreciate that. I'm Scott, by the way. I'm May. Nice to meet you. We set off to look for help. The idea to call someone I knew from May's phone came up, but she didn't have it on her. Unfortunately. Where is this phone? This phone of hers disappeared. Very peculiar. We approached several people to ask them for directions, but all of them seemed to ignore us. I tried to make some small talk with May every now and then, but her replies were always short and didn't leave much room for follow-ups. Sorry, I hit the mic. The mic is actually really close to me. It's not like on a stand. It's on a stand, but it's not like it's standing on the table, so yeah. I hit it again. Jesus. But she perked up when I asked her about our family. I have a sister. At first, I thought that would be all I'd get out of her, but she continued after a short pause. She's been home more recently. Usually she'd leave early and return late, or not return home at all for several days. Her job is really important, so it makes sense. But I was really happy when she told me she wouldn't go to work for a while. I assumed she finally was able to request some time off. But she continued to work even at home. May hung her head. It seemed like I had touched on a sensitive topic. I thought of ways to console her or cheer her up, but I couldn't come up with anything to say. Since I didn't have any siblings, it was hard to relate, but it seemed like she really loved her sister. I could actually relate more to May's sister. Just as her, I too have barely been home due to my work. Is the music too loud? Maybe the music's too loud. I adjusted it just slightly, not too much. Just as her, I too have barely been home due to my work. And just like her, I'd likely be working even if I was home. But I opposed to May's sister. I didn't have anyone who was expecting me back home. I decided against poking any further and instead shifted my focus back to asking people for directions. Without much luck, oddly enough, it was as if they were all going in the same direction, the town center. Do you think they are going to see that performer? Silence. Maybe she just hadn't heard me. I turned around to ask her again, but she was nowhere to be seen. Just as I finished that thought, I felt a presence behind me. I slowly turned around. What the hell? What do you think? Do I look funny? What? No! Get away from me! I took a few steps back, almost afraid the man would lunge at me. But he didn't. He just stood there. I see. Maybe I didn't do it quite right. And with that, he walked off, disappointed. He took a book out of his pocket and started flipping through it. For some weird reason, he seemed familiar. This town was giving me creeps. I need to get out of here as fast as I could. But as I turned around, I saw that most of the people walking by had distorted faces in one way or another. It was as if a virus had spread while we were looking for help. This was madness. I needed to get out of here, but where to? And where was May? I was getting kind of worried. I took a look around and thought about what to do. Is this game like... I don't think our choices matter, but they might affect what sort of interactions we get. Okay, so I want the creeps. So going through the back streets might be the way to go, you know. Let's go. Staying on the main street was too dangerous. The fear of them came with in contact with the better. But the moment I stepped into the dark alleyway, I had a bad feeling welled up inside me. Was I really that much safer here than out in the streets? I turned around and looked back at the people walking by. Some shot glances my way. Perhaps because I was one of the few people around whose face looked normal. This made me nervous. I turned back towards the alleyway. Whatever was awaiting me here couldn't be worse than being surrounded by all those madmen out there. My heartbeat accelerated every time I rounded a corner. I soon noticed that the back street layout was quite elaborate. There was no dead ends, and it seemed to stretch on forever. I should have glimpsed an exit leading to the main street long ago. Was I just walking in circles? Right as I was about to turn around the corner, I saw them. I froze in pace. The person on the left spoke. It was the voice of a boy. "Oh, you're normal." His words caught me off guard. What do you mean by normal? And what was up with those masks? Yeah. I tried to sound confident, but my voice shook slightly. The other child spoke. Her voice sounded like a girl's voice. "I'm Amy, and this is my brother Lenny." She gestured to the smaller kid next to her. "We're hiding from the other people with those weird faces. You're hiding from them too, right?" My body slowly relaxed. It seemed like they were just normal kids. Those masks were still freaking me out though. "Yeah, I am. Do you know how we can escape from here, or maybe find some help?" "No, unfortunately not. I thought I knew a good way through these back streets, but I think we're lost." "Not because of me, though. She wanted to..." Amy punched his arm. "Ow! Hey! If we had turned right as I said we should have, we wouldn't be lost anymore." "That was a dead end, you dimwit. You just didn't see it because your mask is too big." Nani rubbed his shoulders and started sulking. "Why are you wearing those masks in the first place?" "Some people with those weird faces have been... well, they've been using people with normal faces as material." Nani flinched as Amy muttered those words. It seemed like they had seen some terrible things. Hiding in these alleyways had been a good idea. "Alright, we should probably move on. There has to be a way out of here." "I'll stick with you. That way it'll be safer." I couldn't see their faces, but their body language, I could tell that they were relieved. I too was happy that there were other normal people out here. While we were walking, I tried to find out more about the siblings and what they knew about this situation. Our parents hadn't come back since yesterday night. We didn't think much of it and assumed they'd be back late. But when we woke up, they still weren't there. We wanted to ask some neighbors for help, but they weren't home either. I thought we should wait, but I thought that was a dumb idea. And if they hadn't come back yet, then something must have happened to them. And you want to be a scientist? Oh yeah, your idea turned out so great. And I never said I wanted to be a scientist. I still don't know. Yeah, or artist or whatever. I tried to steer the conversation to stop a fight from breaking out. Those feel like some pretty contrasting job choices. They do, don't they? I guess both help people in their own way. At least that's what one neighbor of ours claims whenever she fights with another neighbor. We have two neighbors who are close to our family and they... I froze. So did the siblings. Someone was there, just around the corner. I jerked my head around, trying to find a place to hide. For a second, I considered that they could be someone normal, someone just like us. Someone who was as freaked out by whatever was going on in the city as we were. I didn't want to take any unnecessary risk, and I especially didn't want to put these kids in danger. I spotted a big garbage container not too far from us and quickly pushed Amy and Lenny towards it. We made it just in time. Amy held her breath. Lenny was fidgeting slightly. No, he was trembling. I was afraid that he would make too much noise, but he managed to pull himself together. Silence. Was the person standing there, looking down the alleyway we were in? Or were they already gone, and we just hadn't heard them leave? I managed to suppress my curiosity and decided not to peer around the container. Lenny apparently couldn't. I was about to stop him and pull him back, but it was already too late. He had already peeked out of our hiding spot. His body relaxed slightly, and he spoke in a hushed tone. Amy, it's Frederick, our neighbor. Amy perked up. It seemed like they knew this person. As Amy saw my puzzled expression, she started to explain. Don't worry, Frederick is the neighbor we were talking about. He's a bit of a nerd since he's a researcher, but he's pretty cool otherwise. That last remark stung a bit, seeing as I was a researcher myself, but I decided to ignore it. Here, have this, just in case. I'll go talk to him. Lenny shoved his mask into my hands and jumped out of the cover. I was about to grab and stop him, but my hands gripped empty air. Amy jumped up as well and ran after him, likely realizing how dangerous his idea was. I hesitated, but just for a second. There's no way I could let those two go out there by themselves. If something went wrong, I had to be there to protect them. I hesitated to put on the mask Lenny had given me and stepped out of our hiding spot. Lenny had since called Frederick and was now approaching him. I froze when I saw him. That was the guy I met earlier. And his face was still ravaged as before. How Lenny had recognized him was beyond me. Lenny stopped a few feet from Frederick. Are you alright? Your face. Did they do this? Frederick had a puzzled look on his face at first, but his expression soon softened. Oh, that? How do I look? Terrible. Why can't they just leave us normal people alone? Frederick's expression darkened. My feet moved by themselves, and I was quickly approaching Lenny. Lenny was under the misconception that someone else had done this to Frederick, but I knew that he was one of them. I quickly overtook Amy, who had stopped at a safe distance and stood between Frederick and Lenny. Frederick glanced at me. It seemed he didn't recognize me because of the mask. I was about to tell him to leave us when suddenly I gasped for air. My stomach. He had kicked me in the stomach. I could hear Amy gasp behind me as my knees gave in. My insides grew hot as I held into my belly, my view fixed on the grey asphalt below me. Then I heard Lenny cry out. I jerked my head up, still unable to get up due to the pain. Ooh, the scary factor just... The scary factor just like rose up. My internet is like not doing too well right now. Sorry, wait for me. I am trying to figure out what is going on. I guess it will be like this. Frederick had grabbed Lanny and was pulling him back towards the way Frederick had came from. I was hoping to find someone whose face was in impeccable shape, just as yours. You'll make for some nice material. Hey, let go! Lanny was struggling with all his might, but Frederick was stronger. He picked Lanny up and he threw him against the wall. Lanny's head collided with the hard surface and his body went limp. Before I was able to heave myself up, Amy had apparently freed herself from her frozen state. She ran past me and towards Frederick. Stop! Let him go! She must have known that winning against an adult was impossible for her. But her judgment was clouded by her desire to save her brother. All because I had been too careless and let Frederick hit me. But before Amy could throw herself onto Frederick, he turned around and hit her with his backhand. She staggered to her side, her mask flying off her face. Her expression was twisted in pain. Frederick froze as he saw what was under the mask. A normal face. Oh wow! 2 potential donors! A sick grin formed on his dismembered face. My feet finally stopped wobbling and I managed to stand up. I had to help Amy, otherwise Frederick would take her too. I trudged towards Frederick forward as Frederick started approaching her and was about to tackle him when, once again, the hot feeling spread toward my stomach. The difference was that he hadn't kicked me this time. I stumbled backwards and looked down. Blood. My feet gave in once again. Frederick was holding a knife and he had stabbed me. Right, where was I? He fixed his eyes at Amy, who was staring back at him, frozen in fear. Carrying 2 might be too difficult, but I don't want to leave you here like this either. Ah, I got it. He said it rummaging through his pockets. Shortly after, he pulled out something small. Glancing at me, shed tears in the eyes. My brain was screaming that I had to help her, but my body wouldn't move. I had lost too much blood. Already? Okay. Maybe it's because I haven't been stabbed before. But does blood really, does blood really gush out very fast like that? Cause, okay, maybe my hand is too far away from the heart. It's like at the edges of my body. But like, I've stabbed my hand. Is that TOS? Okay, I'm not gonna speak about it anymore. I'm not gonna speak about it anymore. My brain was screaming that to help her, but my body wouldn't move. I'd lost too much blood. Having a funny face is good and all, but I wanted to approach this from a scientific perspective. There had to be a way to capitalize on this new trend. Maybe I could finally win a prize or two. Coincidentally, I found some odd mushrooms not too long ago. After some experiments, I discovered they had the potential to influence someone's facial arrangement. So I went ahead and made this. He held something that looked like a small pill. Amy started to crawl backwards, but her back soon hit a wall. Admittedly, I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. That's where you come in. He was standing right in front of Amy and bent down. You should thank me. Many people will attain face comedy enlightenment, as I'll call it. Maybe I'll be able to sell as many books as the most hilarious one. He jerked forward and grabbed Amy's face, trying to force the pill into her mouth. I tried calling towards them, but almost all my strength had left me. Amy was trying her best to keep Frederick off, but he was too strong. Her muffled screams were heart-wrenching. And then she gulped. Frederick stepped back, satisfied. Alright, let's see. It should start any second now. I closed my eyes. I could tell that Amy was flailing in pain. She tried to scream, but all that came out was a deep gurgle. After a few more painful seconds, it stopped. It went quiet. Well, the face looks alright. But it seems I have to tweak it some more before its distribution's ready. I heard footsteps. Frederick had picked Lenny up and now was leaving the alleyway. My eyes were still firmly closed. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to see what happened to Amy. But I had to know if she was really dead or if she could still be saved. I slowly opened my eyes. Poor Amy. Why did this have to happen to them? Why hadn't I been able to help them? Amy? She didn't respond. She looked down the alleyway. There was no trace of Lenny or Frederick. They were gone. And soon I would die too. I was steadily losing blood, and there was no way anyone would find me and help me. I closed my eyes, and my consciousness faded. I felt a small sting on my back, as if something had stabbed me. It was barely noticeable, and then everything went dark. I guess we could go for another door. Oh, my internet is really so bad. Why is it so bad? It was fine days ago. Oh, it's fine now. Seriously, what the hell? Door number right. Oh. Trapped. I shot awake, panting heavily, my clothes sticking to my skin due to all the sweat. My eyes darted around the room, but everywhere was quiet. I seemed to be safe. A nightmare. Seems like I just had a nightmare. There were people laughing, and distorted faces, and I couldn't remember, but it must have been terrifying. The pulsing pain in my head slowly subsided. I took deep breaths and kept mumbling to myself that it had all been a dream, nothing more. After calming down, I decided to take another look around the house. The fact that no one was here, even though the lights were on, was still nagging at the back of my mind. But what I saw when I opened the bedroom door was not what I had expected. Dun 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 dun. Oh, it's back to red. What's wrong with my internet connection? Instead of the living room I had entered the bedroom too, I found myself in the middle of a long hallway. Sorry. I was trying to find out why my internet was like bad. Ha 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 ha. I don't know. I tried doing a lot of things, but my internet just won't do it. Alright, so like, instead of the living room, I entered the bedroom too. I found myself in the middle of a long hallway. Rows of doors interspersed with handrails covered each wall. I could hear people chatting in the distance. Where was I? And how did I get here? The face looked like a hotel at first glance. A plate with a room number was hanging next to all the doors. Mine was 215. As I moved towards the end of the hallway, I took a more thorough look at my surroundings. The floor was lined with red carpet featuring an elaborate design. The red and white walls complemented the elegant atmosphere. On the ceiling hung electrical lamps that were similar in design to candles. As I stepped out of the hallway, I was momentarily blinded by the bright ambience. A huge chandelier was hanging on the ceiling of the ground hall I had stepped into. I seemed to be on the upper floor of this two-floor structure. The ground floor, apparently a restaurant area, was lined with tables. Multiple people were dining and happily chatting with each other. A huge window across from me showed a big body of water. I was in a hotel by the beach. The water looked oddly close. I needed answers. Quickly, I looked at the stairs and hurried down towards the restaurant. Luckily, one of the waiters was just passing by as I reached the bottom. "Excuse me, could you tell me where I am?" He answered without hesitation. "You're in the restaurant area, sir. If you'd like to order something, you need to..." No, I mean this whole hotel." This time, he did hesitate. Well, you're in the kids heat the cruise ship. If that's what you mean. Is everything in order? Cruise ship? How did I get on a cruise ship? Had I been kidnapped? Would my kidnappers let me walk around freely? The waiter had a concerned look on his face. He glanced over at his colleague, who just adjusted him to with a stern expression on her face. I could call someone over to help you. Or you could find someone at the help desk at the end of the hallway. He gestured back up the stairs and pointed at another hallway next to the one I came out of. Thank you. I'll just ask for more information at the help desk. I didn't want to hold him up any longer. The waiter's colleague had by now crossed her arms in front of her chest and was tapping her foot impatiently. The waiter hesitantly nodded and turned away from me. A cruise ship? I didn't remember ever booking a ticket for a cruise. But as I rummaged through my pockets, I did find a keycard with the number 215 on it. Right, the help desk. I should be able to find out more there. I made my way back up the stairs. At the room at the end of the second hallway looked like a lounge area. It was filled with comfortable sofas and armchairs. Multiple groups of people were chatting to each other. I could see children playing near what I assumed to be the help desk. Shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to read that. Hi, how can I help you? I'm a bit lost. Well, I don't really remember booking a cruise. Is there a way to get off early? He looked at me with a similarly puzzled expression as the waiter. Could you tell me your room number? Yes, it's 215, but I don't really remember booking it. I took off my keycard and showed it to him. The man opened a drawer and started expertly flipping through the folders. Shortly after, he pulled out a document. Is this your name and signature? I turned it so that I could see it. To my surprise, the name and the signature written on it were indeed mine. But how? How could I forget signing up for a cruise? As for your second question, we're currently on the last day of our trip. The ship will arrive at Kajamhite port tomorrow at noon. Are you here with anyone? He threw a skeptical look my way. I must have sounded like a weirdo. No, I'm alone. I'll just sort things out tomorrow then. The employee shrugged and pulled the folder back into the drawer. Don't hesitate to let me know if you need any more help. I turned around, wondering what my next course of action should be when... Ow! Something I hit one of my legs hard. I stumbled, but I managed to stop my fall by holding onto the help desk. Oh god, are you okay? Lanny, you need to pay more attention. Lanny again? I looked up to see what had hit me. Initially, I had assumed that I had walked into some piece of furniture, but that wasn't the case. A boy was sitting on the ground in front of me. Someone was standing over him, making sure that he was alright. As soon as she had confirmed that he wasn't hurt, she turned to me. I'm very sorry about that. Are you hurt anywhere? Lanny, make sure to apologize. Sorry, I wasn't looking. No, it's alright. I'm okay. I turned to the boy named Lenny. Are you okay? Yeah, it's nothing. His look was fixed on the ground. It seemed like he really did feel bad about bumping into me. The woman in the meanwhile fixed her gaze onto my face. Are you sure you're alright? You look rather pale. No, I'm fine. That didn't seem to convince her. My confusion and frustration about being on this boat had shown on my face. Would you like to sit down with us for a bit? I have some medicine against seasickness. It might help. Now she was mentioning it, I was feeling a bit woozy. I'd been too preoccupied with figuring out what was going on to notice. She led me to one of the sofas and motioned me to sit down. My name's Sabrina, by the way. This boy is Danny, and the girl over there is Amy. Amy again? She motioned to a girl sitting at a table nearby who was brooding over a piece of paper. My name is Scott. So they're of your family? Sabrina stopped rummaging through her handbag and looked at me with a amused smile on her face. Oh no, they're my neighbor's kids. We're good friends and I paint with their children sometimes. I'm currently looking after them. While Sabrina was still looking for the medicine, Lenny approached his sister and peered over her shoulder. He then grimaced and walked over to our sofa and took a seat next to Sabrina. Here you go. She handed me a pill from a small bottle. Out of the corner of my eyes, I saw Lenny motion to Amy. I don't get how she can be so into drawing. It's so boring. She's been at it for at least half an hour and it still looks terrible. Hey, I heard that. Amy shot an angry gaze at Lenny. Good art needs time. Maybe you should work on some art as well. Yeah, maybe I'll help with your hyperactivity. I'm not hyperactive, I'm just healthy. That's what Dad says. I guess so. If I had any ounce of knowledge about music, I could help you relieve that energy that way at least. Though it's also been a while since my art. Sabrina trailed off with a sad look on her face. Don't worry, it's okay. I've been figuring things out on my own. Also, I've been asking Dad and Mom if they can buy me a melodica. I'm pretty sure that I'll get one soon. You two really seem to have a knack for art and music. Your parents must be proud of you. I don't know about Amy, but I'm sure they were proud of me. Amy shot another angry glance at Lenny's way, but didn't retort. She seemed to be the mature one in their sibling relationship. Hey, do you have any more of those pills? I jumped slightly, a voice had called out from behind me. As I turned around, I saw a grumpy-looking man. Sabrina grabbed her handbag once again. Another one, Frederick? It says on the package that one should be enough. Apparently not. I can't work while feeling like crap. Why did I agree to go on this trip? Sabrina gave him a skeptical look, but handed him a pill without saying anything. Frederick turned around the spot and trotted off. Sabrina sighed. Sorry about that. He's usually more pleasant. The seasickness must be getting to him. That, coupled with an upcoming deadline for an article. So he's a journalist? No, that's not what I meant. He's a biologist, and he's been working hard on getting something published in that one magazine. If you ask me, his obsession with getting more publications is a bit unhealthy. A fellow scientist. Now that I thought about it, I hadn't written anything in a while myself. Way more pressing matters had taken up my time recently. The spores were still... I jolted up. Sabrina looked at me in surprise. Thank you for the medicine. I feel much better now. I should be get going though. I was too anxious to sit still, even though I knew there was nothing I could do until the ship came to the port next day. Alright, take care. Feel free to let me know if you need any more medicine. I thanked her again, said goodbye to the siblings, and headed back to the sleeping quarters. But I stopped just before the hallway that led to my room. My eyes wandered towards the big window. The sun hesitated to set, but I didn't feel tired at all. Likely because I woken up just recently. So I decided the best way to dispel some of my anxiety was to take in some fresh air. I continued on past the hallway and then out onto the deck. When the sea looks like grain of sand, grain of sand, grain of sand, grain of sand. La 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 la. Oh, I think I know what the problem was. Alright, so a salty breeze hit my face. I could hear the soft splashing of waves against the hull of the ship. This place was way emptier than I had expected. Less than a handful of couples and some families were standing near the edge of the railing. One of those couples had their dog with them. Every now and then, when it heard the call of a seagull, it jerked its head up around. Were one of the pairs on this deck perhaps Amy and Lanny's parents? Absent-mindedly, I approached the railing right by the door and looked over. We were very high up. Looking down at the waves hitting the ship hull had eerily hypnotic effect. Combined with the cool air and the sound of water, it calmed me down. Hey. I jerked up. Someone was standing at the railing next to me. Sorry, I didn't mean to surprise you. No worries, it's okay. It looked like she had been standing there for a while. Did I somehow overlook her? You look a bit confused, so I wanted to ask if you're alright. Oh, well, I guess I'm a bit lost. I had a feeling she'd be no more understanding than an employee, so I decided not to tell her too much. I'm a bit lost too. It might sound weird, but I'm not sure how I ended up here. Wait, that sounded oddly familiar to my situation, but she seemed to misinterpret my surprised look. I know it sounds odd. It's just like in dreams. Whenever you try to remember how you got to a place you're dreaming about, you can't. So I wasn't the only one. There was someone else here who was experiencing the same thing I was. Knowing this lifted my spirits. Just as I was about to tell her about my situation, she suddenly perked up. Sorry, I should go. I promised to meet someone. And with that, she hurried off before I could say anything. I was slightly frustrated by the fact that I hadn't been able to confide in her. But I could seek her out tomorrow, I guess. The sun had meanwhile almost set. A blood-red stripe was visible on the horizon. I set off back towards my room. With nothing better to do, I got into bed and tried to sleep. My night was restless. Half of the time, I wasn't sure if I was awake or asleep. Weird sounds kept waking me up. By the time the sun had risen, I felt like I had barely slept at all. Today would be the day we'd arrive at a place called Kajamhite. From there, I would be able to get back home one way or another. I rubbed my eyes open as I opened the door that led up to the hallway, but something was wrong. The hallway looked different. Was it shorter? There definitely used to be more doors here. It's as if a new wall and a door had appeared where the hallway originally was. Appeared where the hallway originally continued to the restaurant area. I approached the new door and tried to turn the doorknob, but it was locked. Slowly, panic set in. Was I trapped in here? Did everyone already leave? There was no way they had left me behind, right? I quickly approached the doors in the hallway and knocked. Silence. I tried the next and the third, all was silent. My heart rate accelerated. I forced myself to calm down and think this through. There was no way they would leave a passenger behind. And even if they did, they would notice sooner or later that I was still in here. The most productive thing to do right now would be checking the other rooms were open. Maybe I could find a way to make people aware of the fact that I was still in here. I considered which door to try first. Which room should I go into? Let's go by order. Room 1. Room 1 was unfurnished and windowless. A sole light bulb in the middle of the ceiling illuminated it faintly. I could see about 15 people sitting on the dirty ground. 15 people! Most of them seemed to be adults, but there were a couple of children cowering next to what I assumed to be their parents. One person from the group, an older man, raised his head as if waking from a dream. The door! It's open! More and more people lifted their head, and I could feel their stares piercing me. The man was the first to stand up and shuffle towards the door. I stepped aside, but as he tried to cross the threshold, he suddenly stopped. He was frozen midair. His fingers tightened as he was exerting a great effort. Disappointed, he stepped back. It's no use. He sucked back to the spot and slumped to the floor. The other people in the room lowered their heads, their hopes dashed in an instant. I wasn't sure what was going on, but it was evident that they were in trouble. I quickly walked up to the older man. Hey, do you know what's going on here? No, we all woke up in this room and are unable to leave. And now it seems like you're stuck in here as well, with us as well. My heart stopped for a second, and panic slowly started to set in. Was I really trapped in here? I hastily walked to the door and stepped right through. The man stared at me with wide eyes. This means that you, instead of the girl, might be able to help us. Right after he uttered those words, some of the people in the room lifted their heads and looked at me. Some with a look of disbelief and some with hope in their eyes. There was someone else on this ship who could enter and exit this room freely? What did she look like? He started explaining. I soon realized that this description fit someone I knew. It sounded like the girl I had met on the deck yesterday, so she got into this mess as well. We asked her to help us, but she just laughed and left. That wasn't quite how I remembered her, but it wasn't like I'd known her for a long time. Was her nice appearance just an act? Might be, you never know. People just be messed up like that. Meow. Meow. I shifted my attention back to the man before me. There might be people behind the other doors that we could possibly help. Please let me know if you have anything that I don't need, or if you are in need of something. That way I can make sure that everyone gets out of here safely. Some people nodded in agreement while the military stayed stoic. A woman stood up, got something from a shelf, and approached me. We found some medicine in this room. We can't give away all of it, but maybe it will help someone. The label was barely legible. I couldn't make out the letters "Fun Night." I still gladly looked at the bottle and thanked her as she trotted back. Few nights? Like the fungus? I mean, this game is called Mycorrhiza. Myco in scientific terms speaking about mushrooms and fungus. So I guess this game has a lot to do with fungi and mushrooms. Insightful. I'm very smart. Yes. No, I'm not smart. I just studied science as my diploma. Is all. Please, if you find any food, bring it to us. Alright, I should head out, but I'll let you know if I find anything. With these words, I stepped back through the door. I closed behind me as a wind gust had suddenly blown through the hallway. Can I go back into room 1? Oh, maybe it was a mistake coming here. It may. I know I just skipped through, but like I thought it was just gonna be nothing. I made a gurgling sound and hesitated for a bit. Horrific images of all kinds of creatures popped into my mind. I shook my head and I tried to get them out of my head. After a few more cautious steps, I finally was close enough to see it. It was a girl. No, it wasn't just some girl. It was the same girl that I just ran on the deck. Her body was limp, but as opposed to the other people in this room, she seemed more or less conscious. I cautiously picked her up and made my way towards the door. The words of the old man echoed in my ears. He told me she was able to pass through the door just like I was. But why hadn't she left the room by herself? Did something happen that she got caught up in? And how did she get in here anyhow? I would have noticed her in the hallway. I turned towards my room, and I had a bed and should probably be safe there. Opening the door while carrying a person was no easy feat, but I finally succeeded and put her onto the bed. Home. Her facial expression changed from one to pain to one of relaxation. She instantly fell asleep. I debated whether I should wake her up and try to get some information out of her, but it didn't seem like she was in any condition to answer questions. Seeing her sleep soundly made me want to take a break as well. I pushed myself to step out of the room and back into the hallway. I still needed to see if there was any way out of here. What if I just kept on going to room 1? I froze the moment I entered the room. I'd seen some movement at the corner of my eye, but when I turned my head, all I could see was a blank wall. As I noticed further in, I noticed a scratching sound. It was as if something was clawing at the wall, but I couldn't make out anything that could have been causing it. There was barely any movement at all. Everyone seemed to be still frozen in place. I stood in the doorframe and strained my ears. It was getting louder. I considered leaving, but curiosity overcame me. Slowly, I stepped into the room. It was then that I saw someone who seemed to still be awake. Their slight twitching was barely noticeable in the dim light. I considered calling out to them, but something told me not to, and so I cautiously inched towards them. But as I got closer, the more apparent it became that something was off. I froze. Their head. It almost looked as if their head was melting off their bones. Their eyes were dark and hollow. I took a few hasty steps back, but they unfortunately didn't seem to react to my presence at all. The scratching seemed to have gotten even louder. I noticed something lying on the floor not too far away from the person I had just checked on. I hesitated, but my fearful glances were answered with complete silence and lack of any movement. I was still safe, probably. I shifted towards the thing on the ground and slowly picked it up. It was a sheet of paper that looked like it was ripped from the diary or a log. If I was the leader of this operation, I'd fire anyone who'd let ethics get in the way. Sacrifices always need to be made to ensure humanity's future. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'll just continue my research in private, since it's not like there aren't enough subjects inside the zone. I couldn't make heads or tails of this note. I was missing too much context. The scratching got even louder. Something was definitely not right. I should probably get out of here. I let my eyes wander over to the room one last time and made my way back outside. Something tells me that I should go to another room, but I wanna go into room 1. I wanna go into room 1. You know what? I'll flip a coin. I don't have a coin to flip. Alright, so we have a choice. I really wanna go into room 1 again. But I also really wanna know what's in the other rooms. You know. Fine, now going to room 4. The room seemed to be empty except for a lonely light bulb hanging from the ceiling. It didn't seem to be working properly, as it barely gave off any light and flickered every now and then. It took my eyes a while to get adjusted to the darkness, and right as I did, I realized the room wasn't actually as empty as I thought. A huge dog that I had been seeing right away because of the poor lighting was just a few feet in front of me, and it was determined to rip me into pieces. I hastily stumbled backwards, almost tripping. This was it, I thought. I was gonna get mauled. But nothing happened. All I could hear was the rattling of a chain. I slowly opened my eyes and saw that the dog was fortunately chained to the wall as per its red collar. It was vehemently struggling to get free. After confirming there was indeed no risk of getting free, I took a closer look around the room. There was a small glittering object strewn across the ground next to the animal. Next to the dog was a body, a badly mutilated one. A foul feeling spread to my stomach. Did the dog do this? The corpse was laying too close to the dog to examine it. Instead, I cautiously inched closer to the object scattered on the ground next to it. I picked up one and examined it. It was a bullet. I had no use for a bullet yet, but if I did in the future, I knew where to find one. When I took another close look at the area behind the dog, I saw that there was an opening in the wall. It seemed to lead to another section of the ship. It was the first time since getting trapped here that I had seen a possible escape route. The only problem was the furious animal blocking it. I couldn't think of a way to get around the dog without getting mauled, and so I decided to retreat for now and look for a way to get past it without getting myself in danger. I suddenly felt the floor beneath me vibrate with increased intensity. What is happening? An earthquake? The intensity of the rumbling increased and soon I was thrown from side to side. I struggled to stabilize myself, but ultimately failed. My back hit the wall hard and I fell onto the ground. I rolled into a ball, trying to protect my head, as I slid along the floor. Sound of metal breaking apart filled my ears. It was deafening. And then it stopped, just as suddenly as it had started. I stayed in fetal position for a while longer, fearing that everything would start shaking again. But it seemed like it was finally over. Were the people inside the rooms okay? Had we perhaps run ashore? Would someone come rescue us now that we're on land? A myriad of questions filled my mind. My eyes fell on the locked door to the hallway. Something about it was off. It was barely noticeable, but it seemed like the door was slightly skewed. I quickly approached it, turned the doorknob, and pulled on it. It was stuck, but I feel like I could be able to pry it open with more force. And so I tugged it again and again, each time the door inching more and more open until the door flew open and I was thrown back. A strong gust of wind hit my face, and I reflexively closed my eyes. I celebrated internally. Finally, I would be able to get out of here and look for help. Finally, this nightmare would end. But I was mistaken. What I expected to see beyond the door was a hall and a restaurant from the day before, but my expectations were utterly betrayed. The ocean, a huge body of water, was in the distance. As I looked down, there were hundreds of meters. I thought there were hundreds of meters above ground. How? Were we moving on land? What shocked me the most was that I could make out thin, long legs supporting the ship. Their movements were so smooth that it felt like we were floating. It was as if I was inside something that was alive. There's a hen right there. You not gonna comment on that? My eyes wandered across the rest of the ship below me. It must have broken in half. The form of the tear was cut out though. It looked like a huge bite mark, as if something even bigger than this cruise ship had ripped into it. But that couldn't be true. There was no animal big enough that could have been bitten off such a huge chunk of this ship. As the creature I was on made the sharp turn, the ocean drifted out of view. My grip on the door frame tightened. I feared I would get thrown off. Then it stopped. My eyes widened in shock as I saw the scene before me. The view was surreal. Unsettling. Very unsettling. On one single town was standing in the middle of a wasteland. Wandering through the wasteland were enormous, outlandish creatures amongst gigantic mushrooms. They looked like something straight out of a nightmare. I wiped my eyes, trying to dispel the illusion before me, but it wouldn't go away. My breathing became ragged and my chest contracted painfully. I had to accept this as my reality. In a trance, I stepped away from the door frame. A wave of rage overcame me as I lashed out and kicked the wall. A dull pain spread toward my foot, but I barely noticed it. Tears started to well up in my eyes. Was there even any reason for me to go on? Why shouldn't I go back to my room, lie down in the bed, and stay there? I leaned against the wall and stared at the ceiling. My feet were shaking. But I was finally starting to calm down. I knew that getting angry wouldn't help. What I was seeing wasn't logical in any way. It went against everything I knew. I was a scientist, so not being able to understand this place frustrated me. Above all, it scared me. But giving up wasn't the right thing to do. It wasn't a logical choice if I really wanted this nightmare to end. I'd escape sooner or later and get myself into a better position eventually. That's what I hope, at least. The ship may still be suspended high above ground, but there must be some way to get down. I would figure that out what to do next once I was out of here. I closed the door and slowly let my eyes drift over the 4 doors in front of me. Room 1! The door slowly creaked open and I glanced inside the room. The people that were here were gone. The room was completely empty. In their place was a black substance. Was it blood? Then the scratching started. It seemed to be coming from every direction at once. As I tried to make out its source, I noticed something at the very far end of the room. There were ripples on the wall. It looked almost like the wall was made of water. Slowly, something started to push itself through the thick, liquid-like texture. First, it was a single hand, then more and more arms started to appear. All of them grasped at the empty air. All the while, the scratching was getting louder and louder. I tried to shield my ears with my hands. My instincts told me to run, but I was frozen in place. I couldn't avert my eyes from the scene before me. Slowly, feet started to reach up through the walls, and then finding that whole body was free. The scratching had stopped. I recognized the clothing of some of the creatures in front of me. They were the people who had been trapped in this room. But their heads, they weren't human anymore. Their faces were distorted beyond recognition. As I stared at them in disbelief, I noticed that none of them were moving. They were just staring at me. Then one of them slowly lifted their arms, grasping at the air, and started to slowly walk towards me. It's almost as if it was pleading. Then the others followed suit. I started to feel a mixture of terror and pity. But they soon got closer and closer. My terror grew stronger and stronger. What would they do once they reached me? They definitely weren't human anymore. Were they about to attack me? Nah, man. They just wanted the pills that you gave them. They wanted more pills. My head began to spin. I took a few hasty steps back, almost tripping on my way out of the room. There was nothing I could do for them. I was too late. If only I could have found a way out before they turned into that. Frustrated with a heavy start, I slammed the door shut. The door crept open and the light spilled into the damp room. A crowd of about 40 people occupied the space. Some were sitting on the floor, some were leaning against the dirty walls. Suddenly, someone at the door darted up and shoved me aside. It was Frederick, who I met only briefly while I was chatting with Sabrina. He tried to force himself through the door, but was stopped midair. An invisible force was pushing him back. Some more people approached the door and tried the same, but to no avail. Damn it! Frederick slammed his fist into the wall. I thought this was my chance. Frustrated, he went back to where he was originally sitting. Since I'd been in a room like this before, I knew that I was able to travel back and forth. Hey, a few other people looked up as I started speaking. I should be able to walk in and out. There are also survivors in the other rooms. I might be able to get some things if you need anything specific. Frederick shut up and walked to me until he was way too close for comfort. We need food. You'll get some for us, right? That sounded more like a threat than a request. Yeah, I can do that if I find some. I stepped back so I didn't have to smell his sour sweat anymore. Do you happen to have anything here that you don't need? Just in case other people trapped in the ship need anything specific. He looked at me as if I just made a joke. What? No. Even if we had anything, we wouldn't just be giving it away. I looked at him skeptically. Alright. I know what you want. I have a gun with me. If you bring me food, I'll trade it for the gun. A gun? I never used a firearm before, and I wasn't sure how a gun would help me in this situation. Hesitantly, I agreed to escape Frederick's impatient gaze. Maybe it would come in handy after all. But you'll have to make sure to share the food with others. Alright, whatever. Just give us something, alright? I don't have anything right now, sorry. Then get the hell out of here and find something. He shouted at me and shoved me out of the room. I tripped and fell on the floor as he slammed the door shut in my face. That guy was a huge jackass. But I still felt bad for the other people in the room. I'd have to go back there eventually if I wanted to help them. I dusted myself off and turned towards the other doors. Whee! I entered the dimly lit room. It was desolate except for a few cans of food and a few water bottles in one of the corners. There were also two rather young children, one boy and one girl, in the middle of the room. As I saw the girl leaning over the boy's motionless body, my heart dropped. It was Amy and Lanny. She looked up with me with pleading eyes as I rushed to their side. Lanny was covered in sweat, indicating a heavy fever. His limbs were heavily bruised and he was heaving. I glanced over at Amy. Fortunately, she seemed to be alright. "I'm Scott. We met yesterday. You're Amy, right?" Yeah." Her voice was shaking. "Lanny is sick." "Don't worry, Amy. We'll find a way to help him." She hesitantly nodded. That seemed to calm her down a bit. I had some medicine on me. Or at least that's what the woman who gave to me called it. I couldn't really read the label. "Should I give it to Lanny?" "Yeah, sure." It seemed like he would die if nothing was done. I decided to take the risk and administer the medicine to him. "I have some medicine with me. He should be alright within no time if he takes this." I had sounded more confident than I actually was in the hopes of cheering Amy up. I made sure that he was conscious enough to drink it. Then I carefully lifted his head and put the bottle to his mouth. He slowly gulped it down and I set his head back down. "Will he be okay now?" "I think so, but it will take time for the medicine to take effect." All that's left to do was hope that I gave him would help against his fever. "You seem to have some food and water here. You think you could take some of it with me?" "More people are trapped in here, and they don't seem to have any." "I don't mind. Thank you." She didn't seem very talkative, but that was to be expected considering how concerned about her brother she must be. "I will let you know once I find something that can help you, okay?" "Okay." She turned back towards her brother. I walked by the canned food and considered taking some with me. Take half. My detriment he was. He jumped out as he saw me come in. "Hey, did you bring anything useful with you?" He didn't even offer so much as a greeting. "I do have food on me. Maybe I could trade it for the weapon." "Yeah?" I decided to give the food to Frederick. It was probably a good idea to have a weapon with me just in case I run into something out there. "I have some food with me. I can give it to you and you can share it with the others." Frederick took a quick look around as if to make sure no one was watching. He took the gun from his pocket. "Here, take it quickly. Don't tell anyone you gave me this, okay?" I was definitely not okay with keeping the food a secret and I was about to protest. But he had already taken the food and shoved me out the door into the hallway. He threw the gun at my feet and slammed the door shut. What a jerk, I thought. Well, at least I had the gun now. I'd never really used one before, but I've seen my fair share of crime movies, so I was certain it would work out somehow. How hard could shooting the gun be, right? I checked the magazine to see how many bullets were in it. It was empty. Of course it was empty. That's why he had handed it over so easily. Otherwise he could have threatened me with it instead of trading it in. How could I have been fooled this easily? Frustrated, I put it away and turned towards the other doors. Room number 4. Take the bullet and shoot the dog. Shoot the dog. All hail shooting the dog in a video game. I am really a horrible person, man. I don't know what to tell ya, but I am a horrible person. I'm slurring my words right now. I'm so sorry. As I entered the room, the wall behind it seemed to be the only way out. Once again, my options kabosses. Attack the car. Yes. I quickly snatched out some of the bullets that were lying near the dog and loaded the gun. It felt rather heavy in my hands as I pointed it at the creature. The dog had stopped barking and was glaring at me with mad eyes. It was as if it knew that the object in my hands was for. My breathing was getting heavier. My heartbeat accelerated. My fingers twitched them. Suddenly, sudden silence engulfed me. It was soon replaced by a high-pitched sound. I instinctively closed my eyes. I slowly opened them. A red puddle started tinting the area around the dog's corpse. I looked at the gun in my hand, and a wave of disgust engulfed me. I forcefully threw it at the corner of the room. Immediately, I started regretting what I had done to the animal. Cautiously, I stepped closer and watched it. I wanted to confirm whether it was really dead. Its body laying on the ground, motionless. It was truly dead, without a doubt. I stepped over it and walked towards the hole in the wall. What I had done weighed heavily on my conscience. The hole was rather small, and I had trouble fitting through, but I succeeded eventually. After a while, I noticed that something was off. The hole seemed to go on for longer than it should. I expected to have already come out on another part of the ship, but it just went on and on. Then a sudden wave of fatigue came over me. It was as if I had stepped into a veil. The air had gotten heavier and my breathing became more ragged. I clutched my chest as I tried to figure out what was going on. A throbbing pain pulsed through my arm. It was as if something had stabbed me. I tried to turn around, but I had already become too weak. My feet gave in and my vision darkened. I could feel a presence near me. Before I could find out who it was, my consciousness faded. Let me tweet something out. Alright, this door. Pets. I already forgot the title of the rest of the I forgot the title of the rest of the books, of the rest of the doors already. Wow, I'm so smart. Oh, so smart. Sorry, I yawn a lot. I'm not bored. I just yawn a lot, okay? It's just a thing I do. Probably because I got my medicine. I haven't taken my medicine. Oh no. Okay, I'll take my medicine after finishing this. Like, I'll take a 5-minute break. I'll take a 5-minute break, after this so I can take my medication. Yeah. Thank you. I shot awake, panting heavily, my clothes sticking to my skin due to all the sweat. My eyes dotted around the room, but everything was quiet. I seemed to be safe. A nightmare. Seems like I just had a nightmare. I was at some hotel. There were some people who were... I couldn't remember, but it must have been terrifying. A pulsing pain in my head slowly subsided. I took deep breaths and kept mumbling to myself that it had all been a dream, nothing more. After calming down, I decided to take another look around the house. The fact that no one was here, even though the lights were on, is still nagging at the back of my mind. But I was more confident that I'd be able to find help now that it was daytime. I left the bedroom to retry the doors, just in case. They were still locked. I just wanted to go home and take a shower. I smelled my clothes and they were indeed have started to smell slightly sour. This place seemed to have nothing left to offer. I'd be better off out in the streets now that it's daytime. If I wasn't missing my wallet, then I would be getting something to eat as well. I was starving. I left the house for the bright sunlight. The back street didn't seem so bad anymore. I found it to be rather cozy and quaint. I made my way down the path until I heard the faint sound of the conversation in the distance. A weight lifted from my heart when I first glimpsed people walking around in the pedestrian area. There weren't many of them as I looked around, and I got the feeling that this was a rather small town. Trees and flowers were planted at regular intervals, which gave it more of a rural atmosphere. Excuse me to whoever who coughed. Do you cover your mouth? This is, in this pandemic, you're out and about and sick. You should be at home, mister. To whoever that coughed, go back home. Go back inside. No one wants you here. Trees and flowers were planted. Alright, I read this. It didn't matter. I could finally ask for help. Excuse me, could you tell me where I am? The woman blinked at my approach. She frowned and scowled in my general direction. This is Kajamhite. She looked uncomfortable talking to me, so I thanked her and let her be. Kajamhite? I had never heard of that town with that name. Where? How did I end up here? The thought of being somewhere I didn't recognize scared me. How was I supposed to get back home if I didn't have the slightest idea where to go? I took a deep breath to calm myself down. My next best would be asking someone to allow me to make a call from their mobile phone. I approached an older man in a business suit. Excuse me, may I use your phone? I'm a bit lost and I would like to call a friend of mine so he can pick me up. His lips curled into a grimacing frown. Sorry. I'm in a bit of a hurry. I approached a person after person, but I had no luck. No one wanted to lend an unkempt, half-dressed stranger of their phone. As I made my way toward the side street, I overheard two elderly women. I heard some violent incidents recently. Most got away with just a flesh wound, saying they were attacked by someone or something. Yeah, I heard that too. I wonder if it has anything to do with our pet disappearances. I heard of another cat that hasn't come back in several days. I was so focused on a conversation that I almost ran into a girl. I mumbled an apology until I realized that she had approached me on purpose. Hi. You need to call someone, right? She extended her hand and offered me her phone. How did you know? I've seen you asking people for one. She nervously shuffled her feet and glanced away. Thank you, I won't take long. I took her phone. It was a red flip phone with a small panda hanging from a strap. The top bar read May's phone. Her background was set to a picture of herself in the pedestrian area. That place in the picture looked oddly familiar, but I was likely just imagining it. I brushed the thought aside and dialed the friend's number. but the call didn't go through. I tried it again, but the result was same. Maybe the phone was turned off. I tried my parents' house number, then my job's front desk, then my boss's personal cell. Each time, the call failed. I was sure to add the right numbers. Maybe the phone had a bad connection. It seems like the calls won't connect for some reason. Maybe you'll have more luck trying a landline. My phone does act up sometimes. You might be right. Still, thank you. I didn't want to hold her up any longer, so I gave her the phone back. After a rushed farewell, I wandered off. I wanted to quickly look for another way to get in contact with someone I knew. It occurred to me that I should have asked her for directions to the police station. I turned to look for her, but she had already vanished. As I made my way through town, I could definitely feel the tension in the air. She was right, everyone was on edge. Okay, so you passed by an alleyway and something caught your eye, and what do? Are you gonna go into the hallway? Why would you do that? Why would you just stare at a hallway or at an alleyway that was dark and you saw something that was too big to be rats and eerie glowing eyes? Okay, now you're starving. But I couldn't possibly ask random people to feed me. And since my wallet was missing, I didn't have any money to buy something. Though there were oddly tempting looking plants nearby. Buds fixed on the thick stems were sticking out of the ground. Each plant was surrounded by a number of small mushrooms. I stared at them. I felt the pull. Their strange appearance hypnotized me, and without me noticing, my feet inched closer, and closer, and closer. Don't eat them. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so cool. It's just Monica, you know, a GDLC. They would be like, I couldn't really think while I was hungry, and who knew how long it had been since I had eaten. So it was probably either this or starving. I dug in. It didn't even taste that bad. Kind of grassy, but edible. Although it grew harder and harder to chew with every bite. Something red dripped on the ground. I soon realized that a liquid was coming out of my mouth. I couldn't tell if it was blood or the plant's juices. More started to pour out as I panicked and tried to figure out what was going on. While feeling around in my mouth, I realized that it had totally become numb. Suddenly, a fleshy chunk fell onto the red pool that had started to form before my feet. Was that my tongue? My vision became blurry and my stiff body hit the cold ground. It was dark when I awoke. I could make out that I was still lying next to the plants. It seemed like no one had bothered to help me. I tried to get up, but I couldn't. My whole body was paralyzed. I felt a sudden sting traveling from my hip to my feet, and the pain grew by the second. Something was happening to me. My hand. It was being bent into an impossible position. Not just my hand, my whole body. It was warping. But it seemed like it couldn't handle the transformation. My body rised and snapped into two. What was I thinking? It didn't matter how hungry I was. They may be poisonous. But my hunger was beginning to gnaw at my insides. It was dark when I woke. It seemed like no one had bothered to help me. I tried to get up, but I couldn't. My whole body was paralyzed from hunger. Something was shuffling by my ear. I felt sniffing of an animal, perhaps one of those cats I saw earlier. I couldn't bring myself to look. It lost interest and walked past me towards the plants. I heard more follow. They padded into view, noticed that something was off about them. It must have been my mind playing tricks on me. My hunger was overwhelming. Something about their bodies was wrong. They started to eat the plants. They were smacking rather loudly and made unnatural fleshy sounds. Every now and then, one would pause and give a loud growl. That didn't at all sound like a cat's. It was more like a slightly higher pitched bear growl. After a while, the sounds diminished and I felt their presence vanish. I gathered my strength and forced myself to my feet. What had just happened? What were those creatures? The violent crimes that I heard about earlier popped into my mind. My hands began to shake. What would have happened if I hadn't been paralyzed and if they hadn't had noticed that I was still alive? I took a cautious look around. Most house lights were still lit. It mustn't have been out for long. Once again, my body gave out a deep growl. It was as if my stomach was eating itself. I had to get some food or else I was in danger of collapsing again. Should I ask someone for help, living nearby for help, or should I take another look around town? I don't think you're gonna get help necessarily because well, the people aren't friendly and they're on edge, so they aren't gonna help. So just take a look around. No one would open the doors just for a disheveled stranger. Instead of wasting my time going from house to house, I should take another look around town. I should be able to find a police station eventually. I picked a random direction and headed off. But I soon realized that finding a police station proved to be more difficult than expected. The streets were completely empty, meaning I couldn't ask for anyone for directions. The further I went, the more abandoned apartments building looked. Did I wander into a deserted part of the town by accident? This street looked oddly familiar though. As I wandered through the dark alleyways, an odd feeling started to well up within me. It felt as if I was being watched. I took a look around. My eyes scanned the buildings, which were barely illuminated by the dim streetlights. I spotted something at the entrance of an alleyway. It looked like a small figure. Whatever it was too dark to make out. My eyes were probably playing tricks on me. It must have been a garbage can or something, right? I tried to rationalize what I had seen and continued to at a faster pace. Was I overreacting? There was one way to find out. I made a sharp turn from the main street and abruptly stopped. If someone was following me, then I would be able to ambush them as they entered this alleyway. I realized too late that they would have an advantage if they had a weapon with them. Someone was there. I braced myself. Right as they were about to turn the alleyway, I jumped up, fist raised. The person gave a shriek and stumbled backwards, falling onto the floor. Just as I was about to question them why they were following me, I realized they weren't a threat. The person who had followed me was a small boy. He looked up at me, his eyes filled with fear. Why were you following me? Slowly unclenched my fists. I need help from my sister. Your sister? He seemed to realize that I wasn't planning to hurt him and slowly got up. Yeah, she is hurt. I was only following to see if you were one of them. I had a ton of questions, but if his sister was in danger, then my first priority should be helping her. Alright, show me where your sister is. His face brightened and he led me back down the way I had just come from. Now that he knew I wasn't trying to hurt him, he became quite talkative. I'm Lanny, by the way. My sister's name is Amy. We are currently hiding from those pets in one of the abandoned houses. Have you seen one yet? They're really scary. His words were flowing out like a waterfall. He made a short pause to breathe as I quickly intersected. What pets are you talking about? What do you mean when you said I wasn't one of them? You really don't know? Well, I don't really know how to explain it. He seemed deep in thought. But before he could elaborate, we had already arrived. Amy isn't here. We were standing in front of an old abandoned house. Several windows were broken. One of them was partly boarded up with wooden planks. Lenny stopped in the entryway. I was about to ask him what we were waiting for when he started whistling quietly. What is this, Shrek? It was slow and somber melody that reverberated through the empty halls of the building. The atmosphere it created sent shivers down my spine. And then it was over. Lanny stepped into the hallway, and I followed quickly behind him. Seeing how stumped I was, he explained, "It's something Amy and me agreed on. If she hears someone coming, she's supposed to run away unless I whistle this melody. I came out with it today. Pretty good, eh? The melody, I mean. The plan was alright, I guess, but it was Amy's." Amy away inside, walked up the stairs and stood in front of a dark room. Not far from the entrance, I could make out a shadowy figure sitting on the ground. "Amy, it's me. I brought someone." Amy perked up as she heard her brother's voice. I quickly stepped inside and was about to rush to her side but jerked back. Her arms. What happened? I whispered it, but it seemed like Amy had heard me nevertheless. "I ate a piece of the plants. Then my arms began to hurt, and now..." She broke off. How could eating a piece of plant have caused this? This didn't make any sense, but I had more urgent things to do at the moment. "Does one of you have a telephone? We need to call an ambulance." Nanny looked at me apologetically. "There's no one at the hospital. They're all either dead or they're too obsessed with the pets." "No one at the hospital?" And he had mentioned those pets again. Just what the hell was going on here? This was what I was about to ask. I heard a knocking sound from within the house, and he jerked around, fear-stricken. "Is it them?" Amy's voice was weak. She was about to faint. Her arms were searing, causing her a lot of pain. "So, I'll check it out. You two stay here." I tried to sound confident, but my voice shook slightly. After what Lenny told me, I couldn't help but feel scared. But as the only adult here, I had to be the one to protect them. And so I slowly made my way back down the stairs. I heard something yet again. It sounded vaguely like a growl. One that was oddly similar to the one I had heard while laying in the alleyway. Could it be one of those pets? As I reached the bottom of the stairs, I could vaguely make out some slight movement further down the hall. It was as if something was sniffing the air. I looked around to see if I could use anything as a weapon. There was indeed a wooden board lying on the ground near the window next to me. I carefully picked it up and gripped it tightly while inching closer and closer towards the creature. Weirdly enough, it seemed like it was ignoring me. As I was almost close enough to make out what it looked like, it perked up. I was stopped. Time seemed to slow to a halt. A foul feeling slowly spread throughout my stomach. I lifted the board up a bit higher, then readied myself to attack. And then it lunged. I closed my eyes and flayed the wooden plank in the general direction of the creature, but only hit the empty air. It was over. I thought I had missed, and now it would kill me. But nothing happened. All I heard was something scurrying up the stairs. I opened my eyes and whipped my head around towards the source of the sound, but the creature had already reached the top of the stairs, and then I heard a scream. It was Lenny. I ran upstairs. Amy was still lying on the same spot, but it seemed like she had finally fallen unconscious. Next to her was a bloody trail, leading to another room. Lenny couldn't have been. A sound of breaking bones and fleshy smacking leaped out of the room. I knew what was happening without having to see it. I lifted my weapon without even thinking, and was about to step closer to the room's entryway, but I stopped. There was no way I could fight whatever was rotting with whatever it was with a rotting wooden plank. And I couldn't save Lenny anymore. It was too late. I needed to get out of here. Oh man, you don't want to save a poor boy? Why didn't it try to eat the Scott anyway? That's a bit weird. It's like Scott has plot armor until the end, where he's stabbed by Amy. Wait, he's stabbed by the girl, not the little girl, the other girl. Not the adult girl either. The other girl. I can't remember names for shit. I needed to get out of here. No, more importantly, I need to get Amy out of here. There had to be someone out there who could help us. Nanny's words echoed in my head, but he couldn't have been right. The police would do something about it, wouldn't they? Or the military? I was about to go back towards Amy, but a sudden wave of fatigue came over me. It was as if I had stepped into a veil. The air had gotten heavier, and my breathing had become more ragged. I clutched my chest as I tried to figure out what was going on. A throbbing pain pulsed through my back. It was as if something had stabbed me. I tried to turn around, but I already become too weak. My feet gave in and my vision darkened. I could feel a presence near me. Was it that monster? But before I could find out, my consciousness faded. How many times does this make it now? I never thought his presence could make such a huge difference. Seems like his use is nearing its end. No need to keep him around then. I wonder how long it'll take until I find another one. Letting an end like this would be quite boring though. And he did interact with her quite a lot. Maybe I should do one last experiment. I'll send him off with a bang. He deserves it for helping me so much. Alright, time to go make preparations. What was... My hat felt like I was splitting open. What was I doing? I had seen something. A nightmare? No, he had been real, hadn't it? The pain was nearly unbearable. Images that seemed to have no relation to each other flashed through my mind. A plant, a dark room full of people, distorted faces, an ocean, 2 children, a blood trail, a pack of cats, a knife, pain. My head felt as if it was about to burst open when it was all over. The pain was gone. I steadied myself. The images I'd seen, were they hallucinations? Or were they memories? My mind was all jumbled up. I called out as I left the bedroom, but no one answered. I approached the front door and my hand touched the cold doorknob. A sweat started to form on my arm. Was I afraid or what? Of what? I swallowed hard. My hand finally moved and turned the doorknob. I said step outside. I noticed that everything looked normal. My breathing slowed. I hadn't noticed how tense my body had become. I stepped into a narrow alleyway that seemed to be leading into a busier part of town. It was bustling with life. Something about the people walking by was off, but it was hard to put a finger on it. I was too far away. I decided to avoid the main street for now and instead went out the other direction. My instincts told me that was the right thing to do. Right as I turned the other alleyway, I saw something from the corner of my eye. Had someone just entered one of the buildings? I didn't turn my head quick enough. This brilliantly white structure seemed out of place amidst the grey houses that were lining the streets. As I trotted closer, I noticed that it looked awfully familiar to the lab I had worked in. No, it was the lab. What was it doing here? I stood in front of it for a while, dumbfounded, but there was no mistaking it. This was my lab. The easiest way to make sure it was entering it. The interior looked exactly like I remembered it. No one was at the reception, meaning no one to manually open the door. But fortunately, still knew the passcode. I made my way upstairs and walked towards the section M. On the way, I tried to keep my eyes and ears peeled in case one of my colleagues was around, but the place seemed to be totally deserted. That wasn't the only thing that was bothering me though. Everything was oddly clean. Most people would likely think that this was something to be concerned about. Not think that this was something to be concerned about. The problem was that there was no way someone had been able to find the time to tidy up the lab. Not only had we lost a big part of our staff, no one was in the right mood to bother with keeping things clean. As I was contemplating what this might mean, I finally reached my destination, my office. The door was slightly ajar. Did someone break in? I cautiously opened it. The room was empty. My desk was gone. My file cabinets were gone. Even the wallpaper was gone. What had happened here? The only thing present was a single sheet of paper in the middle of the room. I hesitantly walked towards it. The door behind me suddenly slammed shut, and I jerked around. Was it the wind? Or did someone slam it shut? But there was no door. I stood there in disbelief. Then I slowly turned around and looked at the sheet of paper on the ground. My hands began to shake. The closer I got that piece of paper, the worse the trembling became. I hesitantly let my eyes wander over the red writing. Thank you for participating in my experiments. What the hell? My heart is beating fast. But at the same time, what happened? Oh god. That was a mixture of emotions. I have no idea what happened. I'm not good at theorizing anything, but I'm left with no answers. The horror experience was good, but I want answers! I want to know what happened! Alright, let's switch games. Wait, let me turn on some music. Alright, so like I want answers. Where are my answers? Where are my answers? Or maybe I'm just too dumb to actually know what's going on. Yeah, I think I'm just too dumb. Anyway, let's chill about playing some Stardew Valley for an hour. Alright. Ah, ah. Okay. My. Everything is working fine. What the hell is Steam? Thought I opened it. Oh, it is open. Haha. Stupid me. Bam, 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 bam. Alright. Is it too loud? Alright, let's play. Day 8. I haven't gone long. It's raining. Rain. Alright, so I realized when I was editing, right? I realized that you can make chests. And I'm just like, bruh. I'll just bring this with me. So stupid of me, you know. Why didn't I think about bringing out a chest? That was... No weeds. No weeds allowed. So today... I want to earn some money by... Oh wait. The store is probably not open, right? 9 AM. Alright. I'll be right back then. I think I'll be clearing out from the this weather makes me thirsty. Hello, Shane. Am I blocking your way? Aww. You're so... Shane! Don't go! Shane! So I'm just gonna do foraging for now until it's 9 already. Jeez, things move fast. Jeez. So I want to buy some potatoes. How many days are there in a season? I'll just keep on accepting requests and not doing them. Ah! It's expensive to farm and make more money when you literally have no money. Alright, let's I don't like fishing. I don't like fishing. Fishing sucks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fishing sucks. Fishing sucks. Fishing sucks. I don't care about fishing. What is that weird sound? Did I go the wrong way? Yeah. Farming, 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 farming. We're farming. We are farmers. Oh, seed. I'll come back for you. Oh, I wanna open these geodes. They cost money, right? How much? Ah. I'm starting to know where everything is. I'm so smart. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm so smart. I'm so smart. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my god. Did I give him wood? uh, I gave him wood and he's just like, what am I supposed to do with this? Plus, I gave him a wood. I needed that wood. Jeez. No, Sebastian, like me. Please, like me. I was just kidding about the wood. The wood just reminded me of you. Sebastian, please. Don't hate me. Man, Mycorrhiza was so good. What's up with that creepy ass music? I thought this was a relaxing game. Oh, I thought it was longer than that. Or at least I now have a path. Pop, 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 pop. I wonder if I'll meet Sebastian in Sebastian, why didn't you like my... Who are you? Ivy. Yep, I'm a blacksmith. He walks past me. Hello. I'm gonna stare you in the face. I'm gonna be a creep. Where do you live? Where do you live? Hurry up, I wanna know where you live. Ma. Ma. It's getting late. Uh-oh. Oh, this is where you live. Okay, okay, I'm going back. Inventory full. Parsnip. Sell that shit. Mix seeds. Plant them. Maybe I should plant some more. Make the farm a bit bigger. Oh, that was all? I should wait in front of the shop to get these geodes open. I haven't watered the plants. Silly me. Yeah. Oh, it's 9:30 already. Alright, let's go. Oh, there's more. I missed Luz's birthday. Oh man. Coal. Rocks. This is good. Oh my god. I want that. Seriously, my geodes all have nothing in them. Oh. Getting some wood. I need wood to fix that bridge. cone. Let's put them here. Get some cheese, get some cheese. Get some wood, 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 wood. Oh, I'm getting fatigued. This is the last one I'll chop down probably. I almost have 300. Yay. Let's see what the townspeople have. I would end the day, but like, I want to talk to Shane and Sebastian. Alex is nice as well. The purple heart girl. Am I not enough for you? I'm new to this town. Am I not enough? Am I not enough? I don't know what she's doing. Washing the plates. Doesn't seem like tutoring to me. A nice day at work. Ah, yes. Ah. Is anyone else coming? Ah, nice, nice. Very nice. The person I like, I gave him wood. Nice, nice. Nice to know I'm still the charmer, you know? Still the charmer. Ah. Hmm. Ah! Someone's there. I found it sitting outside the entrance of our farm. I think it's a stray. Poor little thing. I think he likes his space. Hey, do you think this farm could use a good cat? Poo-poo. Well, little poo-poo, you'll be a good kitty now, okay? First things first, water the plants. Water, 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 water. And get back to chopping, I guess. Oh, I have enough wood now. Let me just plant these acorns. Let's go to the beach. Why can't we go to the sewer anyway? It's where I belong, you know? You get me? I'm a teenage mutant ninja turtle. Turtle. A turtle. Is that all? Seriously? Can I fish in there? No. What about this? I wonder if any of these is for the gremlin thingies. Forget what they call. I guess not. Who haven't I greeted? That's the thing, I don't know who I haven't greeted. Is he in here? I'll buy that. Wait, how much are these? Whoa. Fishing. Resting my head on the bed. Seaweed. Come on. Sardine. Another sardine. Oh, a shell. I wonder where I can find Sebastian. Oh, I should have sold them fish. Oh well. Who's that? Abigail. Abigail's quite cute too. I like how Shane is already here. I'll come here on Friday, I guess. Survival burger. How much? 40. Missing. I lost my favorite X. If you find it, please return ASAP. I'm maybe on a tough time without it. Okay. Third year? Wait for the dawn of my third year. What was this? I have a lot of things right now on me. I'll put this in here. South of Marnie's, eh? Ew, it smells. Why is it locked? I wanna explore the sewers. I think Gunther has the key. Professor Gunther? The man who runs the museum? Why do you think he has it? I saw a big rusty old key fall out of his pocket one time. A creepy sword drawer like this has just got to be the match for the big rusty key. There's something moving around in there. What does the X even look like? And what if I don't return it? Where's the map? Wrong one. Looking, foraging. I'll give her an X tomorrow. It's a bit late now. Tomorrow. Together, everyone, together. Are you an emo as well? I think I'll cut some trees and earn some money. Actually, we need the wood as well. Huckle-doo-doo. It's almost a week. Let's return our lost eggs. Maybe I should I should water the plants. Open up! Open up! Oh. Ah. Oh, there. How much is a farm coop? That's a lot. For now, I want a backpack. Cause this ain't cutting it, man. Oh, I wonder. I don't know where cod actually lives. Oh, it's Oja Cola. Sure. Relaxing, relaxing, we're relaxing. Another Georgia cola. Cola! Hello. You want a shell? That was for Sebastian. Supposed to be for Sebastian, but I guess you can have it. I don't know what Sebastian is. Any shells? Oh, there's more. No, it's just up here. What's that bubble? Oh, it's gone. I can buy the backpack now. Next thing I want is a coop. I hope the store's still open. Cause you know it closes. Some of these stores close at 9. Not 9, but like. Tomorrow, I guess. Oh, it's Friday. Whoa, 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 whoa. I do not have work to do. Don't you dare say I have work to do. I don't. Maybe Shane will like it. I'm not giving you. Rejected twice. Oh, they're dancing. Ah, you're dancing. What if I stop the music? I can't stop the music. I'm sad. I'm sad. They didn't like my gifts. Patatas. Right, water the plants. Robin likes me. Only Robin likes me. Oh man. Oh, this tree doesn't belong here. Bear. Shane looks so happy. Oh my god. Hello. What, beer? Oh no, I messed them up. Calm down, all kiddos. You're gonna need all your energy, people. What did the egg look like? The egg. The egg. 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 Yay! Okay, I think that's all for today. I have been streaming for almost 4 hours. Yeah. Wait, let me switch the stream. Oh. Oh yeah, we have liftoff. Haha. Nah, we just finished everything. I'm finishing streaming today. It's been fun, especially Mycorrhiza. I wanted to use 1 hour for Mycorrhiza and 1 hour for Stardew Valley, but Mycorrhiza was so addicting that I just completed the whole game. It was just so good. Thank you for whoever is watching. I appreciate it. And I hope to see you next time. Goodbye. Have a good night, morning, evening, whatever the time is. Good night.